Today, we're breaking down the top 4 strongest Town Hall 16 attack strategies you should be using right now. These are the most reliable, consistent 3-star armies in the current meta. Fireball Super Yeti, Royal Champion Walk Route Riders, Fireball Super Witch, and RC Walk Dragons. If you want easy triples at Town Hall 16, this is the guide for you. Let's dive in. We're going to start with Fireball Super Yeti, a super strong and consistent Town Hall 16 triple strategy. Here's the army composition you'll need for this strategy. For this attack, you'll be using 5 Super Yetis as your main damage dealers, supported by healers to keep the push alive, an ice golem for early tanking, and a few wizards, a baby dragon, and some minions to handle cleanup around the edges. Your spell setup includes 4 invisibility spells and 2 earthquake spells for the fireball combination, along with a rage spell, a jump spell, a poison spell, and the new totem spell to give your army even more tanking during the core push. Inside your clan castle, you'll be running super minions paired with the siege barracks, which helps create a wider funnel. For hero equipment, the Barbarian King works best with the spiky ball and earthquake boots. The Archer Queen performs extremely well with the action figure and giant arrow. The Grand Warden uses his fireball and rage gem, and the Royal Champion is equipped with rocket spears and electro boots to help her cut through defenses quickly. You'll start the attack by sending in your Grand Warden with the healers behind him to set up your fireball value. The goal here is to remove high-value defenses or open up a clean entry point, while also clearing a section of the base to create the funnel your Super Yetis will follow. Look for compartments with stacked defenses or key structures like scatter shots, the monolith, the clan castle, or any heavy splash damage. Use your invisibility spells to lock the fireball onto your target and finish the setup with your earthquake spells to secure the value. Once the fireball section is cleared, you can continue letting your warden walk if the funnel still needs more shaping. If you feel the warden is taking too long, you can drop a rage spell to speed him up, and it's completely fine to spend more than a minute here if needed. When the funnel's ready, send in your Super Yetis with the Barbarian King and Ice Golem leading the charge. On the opposite side, deploy your Archer Queen with her instant ability along with the Siege Barracks to create the second half of the funnel, making sure the Super Yetis stay centered and don't walk around the base. Use your wall breakers to open the first 2 layers of walls and give your army a clear path forward. As the push moves into the core, drop your totem spell to distract dangerous defenses like the monolith or single-target infernos. Use your King's ability in the core to open everything up, especially with the earthquake boots giving him extra destructive power. Once the core begins to collapse, bring in your Royal Champion from the side to pick off the remaining defenses. Use your jump spell to guide the Yetis toward the back end of the base, and let the Royal Champion's rocket spears and electro boots help her finish off anything that's still standing. The totem spell adds even more tanking during this stage, keeping your Yetis alive as they push through the final defenses. After that, drop your minions around the edges to clean up the base and secure the 3-star. Now let's move on to our next Town Hall 16 strategy, which is Royal Champion Walk Route Riders. Another incredibly powerful and reliable attack that can crush bases when executed correctly. For this strategy, you'll be using a group of Route Riders and Valkyries supported by healers and an Ice Golem for the main push, with a few rocket loons to help snipe defenses and a couple of super barbarians to assist with funneling and cleanup. Your spell lineup includes 5 invisibility spells for the Royal Champion Walk, a recall spell, 2 overgrowth spells to control pathing and damage, a poison spell for the defending CC, and 2 totem spells to give your main army extra tanking as it pushes through the core. Inside your clan castle, you'll be bringing a troop launcher loaded with 1 Root Rider rocket loons and regular balloons, giving you a strong burst of air support and additional pressure on key defenses. Hero-wise, your Royal Champion will be equipped with electro boots and the haste vial. The King works best with the spiky ball and earthquake boots, but if you have a high-level snake bracelet, that becomes an even better option instead of earthquake boots. The Archer Queen performs extremely well with the action figure and giant arrow, and finally, your Grand Warden will be running the Eternal Tome and Rage Gem. To execute this strategy, you'll begin with your Royal Champion Walk. Drop the Royal Champion on the side of the base, where you can remove the most value, and use your rocket loons to snipe defenses and redirect her exactly where you want her to go. You'll be rotating the Fox and your invisibility spells for maximum coverage. If the Fox goes down early, then your spell timing becomes everything. Each invisibility spell needs to be placed carefully to protect her as she steps into high damage zones, allowing her to remove key defenses and create a proper funnel. Once you're out of invisibility spells, recall her immediately. After recalling the Royal Champion, send in your main push with the Root Riders, Valkyries, the Ice Golem, the Healers, the Royal Champion, and the Troop Launcher all moving together. As they advance, start shaping the opposite side of the funnel using your Archer Queen with her instant ability and place the Barbarian King next to her to clear that entire section. The goal is to create a clean, narrow path, so your Root Riders stay centered and don't wander around the outside of the base. Once the defending clan castle is lured, drop your poison spell and a totem spell to distract both the clan castle troops and the surrounding defenses. As your army reaches the first major layer of defenses, use your first overgrowth spell to shut down key structures like the town hall and to control the pathing. Overgrowth is incredibly strong here because it disables defenses while also guiding your Root Riders exactly where you want them to go. Activate the King's ability only when he's low on health. Otherwise, save it for the back end of the attack. Once the first overgrowth wears off, immediately place the second one on the exact same spot over the town hall. The goal is to finish the town hall last and completely dodge its damage. Use your remaining rocket loons to snipe outer defenses and deploy your super barbarians to help with cleanup as the base opens up. Use your warden ability to keep them alive through the last wave of damage. With the Royal Champion's early value, the controlled pathing from overgrowth, and the tankiness provided by the totem spells, this strategy delivers a powerful and reliable 3-star when executed correctly. Moving on to our next strategy, which is Fireball Super Witch, a slow-pushing, high-power attack that dominates bases through sheer strength. For this strategy, your main force will be 4 Super Witches, supported by 4 healers, with an Ice Golem in front to tank the initial damage, and a few cleanup troops to finish off the outer buildings. Your spell lineup includes 4 invisibility spells and 2 earthquakes for the fireball setup, along with a rage spell, a jump spell, a poison spell for the defending clan castle, and 3 totem spells to keep your super witches alive through the heaviest parts of the attack. Inside your clan castle, you'll be running Valkyries along with the siege barracks. For hero equipment, the Archer Queen uses the action figure and giant arrow. The Barbarian King works best with the spiky ball and earthquake boots, especially since he will be going inside the base with the main army to help break open the core. The Grand Warden carries the fireball and rage gem. And finally, the Royal Champion runs rocket spears and electro boots, allowing her to sweep through the back end of the base and finish off any remaining defenses. To execute this attack, you'll begin with your fireball setup. Look for a section of the base where you can remove stacked defenses like scatter shots, expos, or even the monolith. Use your invisibility spells to lock the fireball onto the exact target you want, and finish the setup with your earthquake spells to secure the value. The goal is to open up a clean entry point and remove enough defenses so your super witches can walk straight into the base without being overwhelmed. Once the fireball value is secured, start your main entry by pulling the Grand Warden with your Super Witches and the Barbarian King. On the opposite side, deploy your Archer Queen with her instant ability to carve out the second half of the funnel, supported by the siege barracks to widen the entry. The key here is to make sure your Super Witches don't walk around the base. You want them going straight into the core. Use your Super Wall Breakers to open the first layer of walls and send in Coco Loons to search for any early traps. When the defending clan castle troops come out, drop your poison spell to neutralize them quickly. As your army approaches the core, place your first totem spell to distract everything and keep your super witches safe. Use your jump spell to connect the core compartments and guide your army deeper into the base. As the push continues, use your second totem spell to distract key defenses like the monolith or inferno towers. Activate your king's ability inside the core to demolish the heavy defenses and open up the base. Once the core begins to collapse, bring in your Royal Champion from the side and activate her ability to pick off the remaining defenses. Her rocket spears and electro boots allow her to move quickly and finish off anything that's still standing. Use your remaining invisibility spells to support the Royal Champion if she steps into danger, and drop your final totem spell on the Super Witches to keep them alive through the last wave of damage. With the fireball value, the controlled funnel, and the tankiness from the totem spells, this strategy delivers a slow but incredibly reliable 3-star every time when executed correctly. Alright, now let's move into our final Town Hall 16 strategy, which is Royal Champion Walk Dragons. A super insane, incredibly powerful attack. For this strategy, you'll be running 11 dragons for the main push, supported by 5 rocket loons to snipe early defenses and create the funnel for your Royal Champion. You'll also bring an Ice Golem and a Super Wall Breaker to help your Archer Queen set the opposite side of the funnel, along with a few cleanup troops. Your spell lineup includes 10 invisibility spells and an Earthquake spell, dedicated to the Royal Champion Walk, along with 3 totem spells. Inside your clan castle, you'll be taking super minions along with the siege barracks. For hero equipment, your Royal Champion will be equipped with Electro Boots and the Haste Vial, but if you prefer using rocket spears, that works perfectly as well. The Archer Queen runs the Action Figure and Giant Arrow. The Grand Warden carries the Eternal Tome and the Healing Tome to strengthen the dragons during the core push. And finally, your Minion Prince will be using the Meteor Stuff and the Dark Orb. But if your Meteor Stuff is low level, swap it out for whichever high-level equipment you have available. To execute this attack, you'll begin with your Royal Champion Walk. Drop the Royal Champion on the side of the base, where she can remove the most value, and use your rocket loons to snipe outer defenses and redirect her exactly where you want her to go. Start rotating your invisibility spells together with the Spirit Fox to keep her protected as she steps forward. Once she reaches the core area, drop your Earthquake spell and activate her ability to secure the maximum value. Her job is to carve out a clean section of the base, remove key defenses, and set up the perfect funnel for your dragons. There's no rush during this stage. Stay focused, rotate your spells carefully, and make sure she doesn't fall early. That's the most important part of this opener. Once the Royal Champion Walk is complete, and you're out of invisibility spells, it's time to move on to the main push. Deploy your Archer Queen with the Ice Golem and the Siege Barracks, and use her ability to snipe air defenses and trigger any invisibility spell towers that might interfere with your dragons. The Super Wall Breaker will help her enter the base and secure even more value. On the opposite side, send in all 11 dragons with the Grand Warden. Use your totem spells to distract defenses and defensive heroes as the dragons push forward. As they approach the Town Hall, activate the Warden ability to keep everything alive through the heaviest damage. Your super minions from the clan castle will join the attack at the perfect moment, adding extra firepower and helping with cleanup. You can use your Minion Prince ability early if needed, or save it for the back end to swag. Both options work depending on the base. With the early value from the Royal Champion Walk, the overwhelming strength of 11 dragons, and the tankiness provided by the totem spells, this strategy delivers incredibly reliable 3 stars when executed correctly. And that wraps up all 4 of our Town Hall 16 strategies. From the precision of the Royal Champion Walk Root Riders, to the raw force of Fireball Super Witches, all the way to the explosive power of Royal Champion Walk Dragons, each of these attacks gives you a reliable 3-star path when executed correctly. If you found these strategies helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Mastering just one of these can elevate your gameplay, but mastering all 4 will make you unstoppable. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.